Raider Nation, the mood is heavy right now. What was that game against the Broncos? The Raiders' defense showed up, played tough, locked things down, but the offense, man, it feels like they stayed back in Las Vegas. The offensive plan turned into total chaos. Chip Kelly missed the mark, Brock Bowers disappeared from the script, and now there are even questions about Geno Smith. Fans have lost their patience and are calling for firings. The locker room is on fire, the pressure on the coaching staff is unreal, and what just leaked from behind the scenes is insane. Stick around because this is serious. But before we break all this down, let me talk to you real quick. Hit that subscribe button. It's free, takes 2 seconds, and helps strengthen this Raider Nation community big time. Drop a like too. Your support helps YouTube push this conversation to even more fans. Let's roll. To be honest with you, that one hurt. The Raiders' defense did their job against the Broncos, and still the win slipped away. And it wasn't for lack of effort. It was the kind of silly mistakes that cost you games. The team controlled the clock in the first quarter, pinned Denver deep. But after one simple holding call on Jack Beck, everything unraveled. From that point on, every play felt like a struggle. Eric Edholm from NFL.com summed it up perfectly. The plan to surprise the Broncos was ready. Defense holding strong, offense managing the clock, field control established. Then came the penalties, the nullified touchdown, the fourth down sack, and Thornton's drop that could have flipped the game. The worst part? The team was playing without both starting guards, turning Geno Smith's protection into a total roulette. The result? A frozen offense, minimal scoring, and a game they honestly should have won. When your offense scores only one touchdown in 4 quarters, you can't expect the defense to save you every week, and you can't even blame this one entirely on injuries. The problem runs deeper. It's about execution. It's about mindset. You know what really stings? Seeing the same mistakes week after week. Missed blocks, short passes when the field's wide open, predictable play calls. The defense is out there grinding, but without help, they can't win alone. What hurts is watching that defense play on the edge while the offense looks lost. Fans can handle losing when the team gives everything, but losing because of sloppy execution, that's too much. Penalties that erase big plays, protection collapsing in key moments, drops on crucial downs. That's a team that hasn't realized its own potential. Raiders fans are patient, but they know when change is needed. And honestly, this offense is begging for a full overhaul. The offensive line has to be a priority this offseason, and the playbook needs a serious refresh. The talent is there, the effort is there, but without coordination and focus, you can't compete. That's the truth. The Raiders had that game in their hands and let it slip. Not because of talent, but because of poor execution. If this pattern continues, you can mark it down. It's going to be a long stretch to finish the season. Drop your thoughts. Is the offense sinking this team? Because this conversation is far from over. If there's one thing that drove Raider Nation crazy, it was what Chip Kelly did, or rather didn't do, with Brock Bowers. The guy had just torched the Jaguars with 12 catches, 127 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and suddenly against the Broncos, the game plan just forgot he existed. A talent like that can't be a background actor. No way. And fans were fired up. After the Jacoby Myers trade, it seemed obvious the team was leaning into the youth movement. Bowers and Ginty. It made perfect sense, but instead, the offense regressed. Back to that same slow, lifeless, identityless version. It was painful to watch. Kelly had every reason to stick with what worked. Motion, quick passes to open space, Bowers breaking coverage, Ginty getting volume. But nope. The play calling turned into a maze of mistakes. Bowers had just one catch, and they even tried a poorly designed run that lost yards. You gotta be kidding. Sure, Denver's defense is elite. No one denies that. They knew the focus would be on stopping Bowers, but a real offensive coordinator finds solutions. You move the player, create mismatches, mess with coverage. Kelly looked paralyzed, afraid to make mistakes, and that's exactly what cost him. What's even more frustrating is how often this pattern repeats. Just when the offense starts to click, they mess with it and kill the rhythm. Bowers is the most dynamic player on this roster, and if he touches the ball twice in an entire game, something's seriously broken. This isn't about talent, it's about vision. And it's not like there aren't examples. Every great franchise finds ways to feed their stars. The Chiefs do it with Kelsey, the Niners with McCaffrey, the Dolphins with Tyreek, the Raiders have to do it with Bowers, period. He's the kind of player who changes a game in 2 plays. Ignoring that is wasting both talent and time. Honestly, fans are running out of patience. Running out after a losing streak like this, everyone expected at least a coherent game plan, but nope. Back to square one. And the worst part? Bowers himself must be wondering what's going on. If Chip Kelly keeps being this stubborn, the front office will have to rethink his future. Fast. An OC who doesn't know how to use his best weapon can't stay in charge. And truthfully, if he doesn't understand the offensive DNA of the Raiders, maybe it's time to find someone who does. Drop a comment if you're also tired of seeing this kind of talent go to waste, because that performance was embarrassing. This team is stuck in a real dilemma, and the big question is, what do you do with Geno Smith? The guy's getting hit, making mistakes, and still feels untouchable. Then former Raiders linebacker Kirk Morrison drops the truth. Las Vegas should stick with him, at least for now. But does Raider Nation agree? After taking that shot to the thigh against the Broncos, Smith stayed on the field, clearly limited. Kenny Pickett came in briefly, then went right back to the bench, and even with Geno playing hurt, the team didn't respond. Carroll said later it was just a bruise, nothing serious, but fans saw what was obvious: the offense doesn't work, injury or not. Morrison's argument was, you extended him, you traded for him, now you gotta ride it out. Fair point, but where's the line between conviction and stubbornness? Geno leads the league in interceptions, the offense can't find rhythm, and the team's sitting at 2 wins and 7 losses. The math doesn't lie. The issue goes beyond the quarterback. Chip Kelly's getting roasted, even by former players. James Jones didn't hold back, saying this offense has no identity, no clear plan to run or pass. And honestly, he's right. When you've got Bowers and he touches the ball once, that playbook's broken. What's wild is that inside the locker room, they keep saying they're sticking with Geno. But fans see the field, and the field doesn't lie. The play calls are predictable. The pace is slow. The offense looks stuck on replay. It's hard to buy the talk when the execution doesn't back it up. To be fair, Geno's not the only problem. The O-line's a mess, receivers are dropping passes, and Kelly looks lost. But the quarterback is the face of the offense, and when things go bad, that's where the heat lands. The real question is, for how long? The short break before facing the Cowboys should be used to fix things, or at least try. Because if this offense shows up in Dallas the same way, it could get ugly. And if that happens, pressure's going to explode. Raider Nation's divided. Some still believe Geno can bounce back with protection and a real plan. Others want change now, before it's too late. What about you? Stick with him or make a move before the season slips away, because what happens after the Cowboys could decide everything. You know when a season turns into a mirror and a team has to face what it really is? That's where the Raiders are right now. The record's tanking, the offense is stuck in time, and the biggest question has finally surfaced. Can you still believe Geno Smith is the guy to lead this team? Fox Sports' Ralph Vacchiano didn't hold back. Carroll's 74 years old. He doesn't have time for a long rebuild, but does he really believe Smith can take him to the playoffs in the next few years? Tough question, but a fair one. The numbers don't lie. 11 picks in 8 games, a shaky offensive line, and an attack that freezes whenever the field shortens. The craziest part? Geno still flashes talent sometimes. When he finds rhythm with Bowers, the offense flows, the team looks competitive, but it never lasts. And then comes the collapse. You can see the confidence drain from his face. Fans see it too. That energy spreads, for better or worse. Vacchiano also floated another idea. Maybe it's time to give Kenny Pickett a real shot. The kid's mobile, can improvise when the pocket breaks down, and would bring some life to a stale offense. But here's the dilemma. Switching quarterbacks now is admitting the plan failed. And is Carroll, at his age, ready to do that? The real weight here is the future. If Smith's not the guy, this team has to go back to the draft board. Look hard at the 2026 quarterback class and accept that the rebuild isn't close to done. That's a painful reality for a franchise that believed this was the turnaround year. To be honest, this is the most dangerous crossroads possible. Keep pushing something that's not working, or restart and face the clock. Raider Nation wants competitiveness, not promises. Watching the team collapse from the same issues every week is brutal. If Geno stays, he needs to prove on the field that he still deserves the job. Because if things keep going this way, the backlash will be massive. Many fans are already calling for changes, not just at quarterback, but throughout the offensive staff. And honestly, if the Raiders reach December without answers, the offseason's going to be an earthquake. Maybe that's exactly what this team needs to be reborn. Drop your take. Do you still believe in Geno, or is it time for Carroll to finally turn the page? One thing no one can deny, the Raiders' defense is doing its job. Against the Broncos, once again, they kept the team alive. They gave them a chance all the way to the end, and honestly, it's maddening to see a defense play at this level while the offense gives them nothing. Eric Edholm from NFL.com nailed it. The defensive game plan was rock solid from start to finish. Controlled pressure, tactical discipline, tight tight coverage. Bo Nix had one of his worst games of the season, just 150 passing yards, 1 interception, 0 big plays. That's all defense. Max Crosby led the front like a beast, controlling the pocket and forcing mistakes. The numbers tell it all. Even without blitzing constantly, the Raiders still got pressure. And when they did send heat, it worked. Nix went 2 for 5 against the blitz for only 9 yards. The plan was smart. Keep the field short, force third and shorts, control possession, and it worked. The problem was the same as always, the offense. The defense kept holding, but the offense kept going 3 and out. Then came the final gut punch, the blocked punt that led to Denver's game-winning field goal. And even then, the defense responded, pushed back, and fought until the final whistle. You can't blame this loss on them. Fans recognize heart when they see it, and this defensive unit deserves full respect. Crosby's energy is contagious. The whole group feeds off it, pushes each other, plays with pride. But without help, it's not sustainable. No defense can carry a dead offense for 17 weeks. What's infuriating is seeing that talent go to waste, because the foundation's there. The scheme works, the chemistry's real, the effort's undeniable, the offense just isn't pulling its weight. Kelly's predictable, Geno's hesitating, leadership's missing. It feels like watching a team playing at half its potential. And that's unacceptable for a franchise with this legacy, this shield. The defense is crying out for help, and the front office needs to listen. If the staff doesn't change direction soon, they'll lose the locker room. Raider Nation already gets it. The defense deserves applause. But the offense, they need to look in the mirror and realize they're testing the fans' patience, and that patience has a limit. After all that, you can feel it. The tension in Las Vegas is real. The defense delivers, the offense fails, and fans swing between anger and hope. Brock Bowers needs to be the focal point of this offense. Geno needs to respond, and Kelly either adapts or he's done. The truth is simple. This roster has talent, it just needs direction. And if Carroll can't find it, someone else will. Drop a comment. This space belongs to everyone who lives and breathes Raider Nation. And stick around for the next one, because here, the conversation never stops. Just win, baby.